The FBI has just revealed some crazy stuff about Lil Durk and why he was arrested. It all goes back to what he was doing in his hotel room right before they caught him. They say he was the king of the streets, but he made some really clumsy mistakes and it cost him. It's like he knew this was coming. Let me show you what I mean. Lil Durk booking flights from his hotel. On Thursday, October 24th, Durk was arrested near an airport in Florida as he attempted to flee the country. However, he didn't just book one flight, he booked 3. It's very likely he booked these flights from a hotel he was staying at in Florida. And the reason he booked 3 is because he was trying to dodge the police. As soon as he found out the feds were after him, he planned his getaway. One flight was going from Miami to Italy, one was going from Miami to Dubai, and the other one was from Fort Lauderdale to Switzerland. You can't blame him for trying, but his plan failed. The police found out and caught him as he tried to hop on one of the planes to Italy. It was a wrap. Everyone wants to know how the feds found out about his plans, and some new info has just been revealed. His flight to Italy was allegedly departing at 9 p.m., and the police only found out about the plot at 6:40 p.m. It was close. In another 2.5 hours, he would have escaped. Or would he? People online aren't too convinced. One user commented, "All 3 of those countries have extradition treaties with the United States. LOL bro don't even know how to escape properly." So yeah, maybe his plan wasn't as solid as he thought. People online continue to clown him, and somebody else said he got 1 episode in power and thought he was really him. It wasn't the wisest move, but remember, he is facing the death penalty. The feds caught him. The death penalty or life imprisonment would be enough to make most people run for their lives. But sadly for him, the feds caught him just before he got on the plane. After the FBI found out he was planning to escape the country, they started their operation to capture him. We don't know exactly how the arrest went down, but we do know that they caught him around 8 p.m. that night. After they got him in cuffs, they sent him straight to Broward County Jail, a notorious Florida prison that's also the same place where YMW Melly is sitting awaiting his trial. He faces charges related to murder for hire, and the feds claim he was the mastermind behind a plot to assassinate the Georgia rapper known as Quando Rondo. The assassination attempt took place back in 2022 when a group of men ambushed Quando at a gas station. Quando survived, but his cousin Lil Pab was shot dead. Although Durk seemed to have gotten away with it, it now looks like his role in the operation is coming to light. Not only Durk, but 5 others of his associates have also been arrested in connection with the killing, and the police are saying it was those 5 who carried out the murder under Durk's orders. For now, Durk's bail has been denied, which ain't surprising since he tried to evade justice. For now, he's innocent until proven guilty. But how long will it take the feds to prove his guilt? Well, with the way things are going, now long as one of his closest friends has allegedly snitched on him. Durk was snitched on. One of Durk's closest associates and fellow OTF member, OTF Jam, has been accused of being the man who brought Durk down. Everyone's saying he snitched and chose to become a police informant after he was released from jail. Another Chicago rapper called King Yella has just come out and given us more info about OTF Jam and why he snitched on Durk. Check it out.
Lil Durk been picked up by the feds. I don't know if he's been charged with nothing. Probably questioning it. They put in OTF in a lot of things. But I heard somebody named OTF Jam, they said they've been calling him a rat. And basically he said, okay, I'm a rat.
He then says that one snitch is all it will take to bring Durk down.
Well, watch this. Watch this. That all this information that I know. Rat this, I'm gonna tell this, I'm gonna tell that. My video earlier, I told y'all, man, if somebody say Durk's name, that's all it's gonna take to say that man's name. And obviously, like I said earlier too, if they come, they coming.
Yella then says that this wasn't random, and it was definitely somebody from OTF.
Somebody telling, somebody from OTF, somebody OTF affiliated, somebody that know enough information on Lil Durk and his crew. And it's messed up. That's why I'll be saying, I don't care how much money you got, what's going on, man, these people will throw you under the bus.
So it's likely a snitch helped bring Durk down, but many are saying he predicted his own future. Durk predicted his future. Back in 2022, the same year that Durk allegedly orchestrated Pab's murder, he released a song called Federal Nightmares. Interesting timing, right? And people are saying the lyrics from the song suggest Durk knew this was coming one day. In the song, he repeatedly talks about having federal nightmares, and now it looks like those dreams have become his reality. People online have had some interesting responses to that song. One user wrote, "That's not a prediction, the committed criminal activity and knew he would be indicted, Elmau." They do have a point. Committing a crime and then making a song about going to jail for it doesn't make you a fortune teller. Someone else said, "It's nothing like predicted. When you do bad, you won't get peace of mind because you know you'll get caught one day." And another user questioned if Durk was really about the street life. They said Durk not a real street, FR, even when he told everyone to watch who they call their homie, and not finding out your homie wearing a wire is the epitome of being gullible. People also commented on the fact that Durk was stupid for falling for people online saying he was a coward for not sliding for Von. They made fun of Durk for not sliding for Von. Now the same people will laugh at him for going down for it. The internet has also been speaking about how Durk didn't do himself any favors since he snitched on himself by claiming he's a bounty hunter. Durk admits to being a bounty hunter. People online have found a song with lyrics that appear to be a diss track to Pab. When you see what he said, it'll make sense why the feds got him. The song, which was never released, is called Beverly Hills, and it's not just the name that's pretty incriminating. In the song, Durk says many things that seem to be directly related to the crime. On the song, somebody commented, "Bro, just rap the indictment. We all have to pay at some point." That pretty much sums up how bad it is. In the song, Durk says, "Popping traffic, we in Cali ride through Beverly Hills with choppers, remember." The shooting that ended in Lil Pab getting killed was in California. In the song, Durk then says, "I'm not hiding, Bronum. No, we crashing Ying to see the oppas. He was a passenger. Then jump seats to drivel or crying can't get us off him." As far as we know, Quando was a passenger at the time of the shooting. And finally, Durk literally admits to being a bounty hunter. Bounty hunter, he ready to crack that little down to get her off. The feds are gonna have a field day with that one. And if you somehow believe those lyrics are coincidental, let me show you what happened on the day of Pab's death. It'll start to make sense. Durk was behind Lil Pab's death. On August 19th, 2022, Quando Rondo and his cousin Lil Pab were driving around LA. Little did they know there were hitmen after them. At some point during the day, they stopped the car at a gas station and were met with a hail of bullets, and Pab was killed. After Durk's arrest, an attorney for LA called the shooting a cold-blooded murder and had a few other things to say about it. The attorney said, "The shooting occurred in the open, at a gas station at a busy intersection, endangering many others in the area." They also gave more details about the shooting. They said, "Violent gun crime of this sort is devastating to our community, and we will have zero tolerance for those who perpetrate such callous acts of violence." So that was an LA attorney speaking about it, but since then, an actual FBI detective has directly claimed it was Durk and his crew that were behind it. The FBI agent said that OTF members engage in violence, including murder and assault, at the direction of banks and to maintain their status in OTF. As of now, Durk's up to his eyeballs in criminal proceedings, but did you know before this, he was actually planning to turn over a new leaf? Durk wanted to turn over a new leaf. At the end of September 2024, almost exactly 1 month before his arrest, Durk was celebrating the fact that his criminal record was being wiped. Up until that point, Durk had quite an extensive rap sheet, so as you can imagine, he was pretty over the moon that it was all getting wiped clean. He shared the great news on Twitter and said, "Everybody should get second chances at life. It's about what you do with it." He then said something that indicates he may have been turning towards religion too. "Alhamdulillah, my background wiped and clean of all cases. I ain't a felon anymore." After that, he takes the chance to express his gratitude toward all the people that made it possible. Who would have thought? "I want to thank everyone who helped push my vision forward. Thank you from the bottom of my heart." That's definitely something to celebrate, especially since his criminal record dates all the way back to 2011. That year, he was sentenced to 18 months in jail for weapons charges. So Durk's been a felon for over 10 years. After his first arrest in 2011, he would again be arrested for weapons charges 2 years later. The police caught him with a gun and charged him with unlawful use of a weapon by a felon. He pleaded guilty to that one and only got probation. So despite his criminal past, it looked like he was expecting a bright future. He even had plans to improve his hometown of Chicago. Durk wanted to improve Chicago. After his arrest, the mayor of Chicago had to explain himself since he allegedly received a $150,000 donation from Durk. The mayor, whose name is Brandon Johnson, was questioned about his association with Durk, and we found out that Durk was actively starting to get involved in politics and political campaigns. It's a bit suspicious because he's a known gang member, but maybe Durk did just want to help the city. Right after Brandon Johnson took office last year, Durk kindly donated the $150,000 to him. Was it a bribe, or was it really just a gesture of support? Who knows? But when asked about what he was going to do with the money, Mayor Johnson refused to say. Since Durk is once again an alleged felon, people are demanding Mayor Johnson either give the money back or put it to good use. As we all know, Chicago has a huge problem with violent and gang-related crimes, so people think he should donate the money to a cause that could help with that. People are starting to recognize how bad Chicago is when it comes to violence, and it looks like even a known gang member like Durk was trying to do things to help the city. Although he's being charged with a very serious crime and may even face the death penalty, the city of Chicago appeared to be grateful for his support. They even gave him the key to the city. Durk received the key to the city. Here you can see him receiving the keys to the city. It's an honorary gesture that's supposed to give credit to people who do good things for a city. But it's a questionable ceremony, especially since a lot of the people receiving them are accused of heinous crimes. Here's another guy who received the key to his city. If you don't recognize him, that's Diddy. He received the key to New York last year, and it was also given to him by the mayor. It looks like Diddy and Durk are starting to have a few things in common. What's crazy about the Diddy situation, though, is that the mayor of New York, Eric Adams, was charged with crimes shortly after he gave Diddy the key. Mayor Adams was charged with corruption and receiving illegal money to support his political campaigns. Pretty much right after Durk's arrest, the mayor did his best to distance himself from him. He immediately stripped the key from him and tried to cut ties with Durk's nonprofit organization. The mayor said, given the news that Lil Durk Banks has been arrested in Florida and charged with murder for hire, the village of Broadview is withdrawing our honorary key to the village. They then speak about ending its partnership with his charity. They said they're terminating our partnership agreement with his youth organization, Neighborhood Heroes Foundation. At this point, he's not even been convicted of anything, so that's a pretty drastic measure, especially since Durk was known to even help out Chicago's homeless. Durk was helping the homeless. On June 1st, 2023, Durk made headlines for his philanthropy when he did some really nice things for a homeless person. It really does look like he was doing his best to paint himself in a positive light, but you can't help but wonder, was he doing all this because deep down he knew he was the mastermind behind an assassination and needed to cover his tracks? Or did he actually want to help out the less fortunate? Well, who knows for sure, but either way, he gifted a homeless man a phone as well as a 30-day hotel stay. Reports say that Durk found a homeless guy by the name of Pedro Ramirez. Pedro had recently gone viral for bumping Durk's song with J. Cole called All My Life from outside of his tent. What's interesting about the song All My Life is Durk repeatedly mentions trying to change his ways and be a more positive influence. In the song, he even references sitting down with politicians. He says, I done sat with the mayor and politicians. I'm trying to change the image. Although Durk expressed that he wanted to help the residents of Chicago, Pedro Ramirez was actually homeless in LA, the same state where his alleged crime took place. Isn't it strange that he decided to travel across the country to do some good deeds? It's like he knew his arrest was coming, and he needed to do everything he could to limit the damage. Or maybe he did want to help people. And there's an argument that the only reason he wanted to kill Quando in the first place was because of pressure from fans. The public pressured him to take revenge. It seems all of this charitable stuff started after the whole Slide for Von campaign. If you don't know what that means, well, after King Von was shot, the internet went crazy and the term Slide for Von started trending. People were clowning Durk for doing nothing about Von's death, but now it looks like that may not have been true. The internet has reacted to this news and it's kind of ironic. Back in 2020, everyone was saying he needed to get revenge, but now they're saying he's stupid for doing exactly that. Since Durk's arrest, one user commented, y'all wanted him to slide for Von, now y'all want him gone, it's sad. Somebody else said, that's worth a life sentence or death penalty in the US. And somebody else questioned whether or not this could even be seen as sliding. He didn't slide. He paid people to slide. He's a bitch and he deserves prison. Well, whether or not he slid for Von or not, the police certainly think he did. And that's what matters at the end of the day. This may even serve as a lesson to not listen to everything people on the internet are saying, especially when the culprit behind it is 69. That's right. It was actually Tekashi 69 who started the whole Slide for Von campaign. How Tekashi 69 sparked it. Back in 2020, the notorious troll, rapper, and alleged snitch Tekashi 69 went viral for trolling Durk and his gang for not doing anything about Von's murder. Here you can see an IG post by Academics where he shares the news about Von's death and claims that Durk's just found out about it. However, in the comments, Tekashi 69 replies with some laughing faces, making a complete mockery about the situation. 69 has actually been beefing with Chicago-based rappers for years, and Durk allegedly claimed that one time his team contacted him and asked him to fake a beef purely for publicity. That's pretty low, but what can you really expect from an alleged snitch? Maybe this was just Tekashi 69's attempt to start a troll war to boost his own image, but either way, the Slide for Von stuff went out of control, and soon it was everywhere. The comment Slide for Von could be seen all over Durk's stuff, and had people asking questions about what it meant, and if Durk, who often speaks about sliding for his homies, would actually do anything. In the end, it's looking like the trolling worked, and he did get revenge for his fallen comrade, but at the time, nobody knew it was him behind it. Hindsight is 2020 though, and now it looks like Durk was, leaving clues all along. Durk reveals he did slide for Von. Shortly after Durk was taken down by the feds, this interview with him and Academics started making rounds online. In the interview, Academics asked Durk about the whole Slide for Von campaign. Nobody realized it at the time, but it looks like Durk openly admitted to the fact that he did slide for Von. This wasn't taken seriously at the time, but now it tells a completely different story.
What are you talking about? By the Slide for Von comments. I don't know if people still say it. They used to say it, but you also mentioned a song. They be like, they be saying Slide for Von. I think they trolling me. Yo, by the way, that song is fire. I ain't gonna lie.
some reason, I just don't see them comments no more. For some odd reason. I don't know. Might be the water. You be seeing them comments a lot?
You've got to admit, Academics looks pretty confused, and just at his face when the realization hits him.
They kind of chilled out a little bit.
Wonder why?
I bet my life that the prosecution will be showing this to the judge. This, along with the snitching allegations, as well as Durk's songs where he seems to confess, might be all they need. But we'll see. Although he appeared to be changing his ways, you've got to remember that Durk comes from one of the worst hoods in America. O Block's history. O Block is the place where not only Durk, but many other of Chicago's most famous rappers are from. In some ways, it's the birthplace of drill. Chief Keef pioneered the music all the way back in the 2010s, and Durk came shortly after. The two of them would make music glorifying gang violence and murder, and quickly rose to fame. Both Durk and Keef belong to a set of the Black Disciple street gang known as OTF 300. King Von was also a member of the Black Disciples, and they are an old gang that have been accused of wreaking havoc across Chicago for decades. Keef is from O Block, and we know that because he has O Block tattooed on his neck, and Durk is from an area nearby. Durk and Keef both came up on the initial popularity wave of drill music. Even though they became popular through music, the violence didn't stop. However, it's starting to look like Chicago residents are getting sick of the violence, as shortly after Durk's arrest, one of his murals was vandalized. Although King Von didn't start the trouble in the area, it's arguable that he helped escalate it. In the end, he was one of the many victims of Chicago's gang violence, but he's also the reason why Durk had beef with Quando Rondo to begin with. O Block's beef with NBA Youngboy and Quando Rondo. Most people are unaware that it was actually a beef between King Von and NBA Youngboy that sparked the war between O Block and Rondo's crew that has ended up in Von dying, Pab dying, and now Durk being arrested. Internet detectives have done some deep research and pieced together what happened to cause the beef. It all started when Von got out of jail and said live that he liked Youngboy's music. So they appeared to be on good terms, but that suddenly changed. Out of nowhere, Von started dissing NBA Youngboy and saying that his rap was cap. Things would turn even more sour when Von posted a picture of him and NBA Youngboy's baby mama. As you can imagine, that did not go down well. Hours later, Youngboy would post a picture with a caption saying, "I'ma have my son f your daughter since you trolling." Then Youngboy got revenge and posted a picture of him doing a song with Asian Doll, King Von's ex. Von then got angry and started dissing Youngboy on Twitter. Von said, "That new y'all got garbage," as well as "Try again, MF, and I got some on y'all baby moms that would make you not want to claim your kids and." So now the two sides were officially beefing, and Quando Rondo, NBA Youngboy's friend, was dragged into it. In other words, he was guilty by association, which is probably why Von attacked him. King Von's death. Here you can see CCTV footage of the incident that led to King Von being shot. You see Von in the white shirt approach Quando, who's leaning on the car. Von then starts beating on him. Quando backs away, and moments later his friend Lil Tim retaliates by shooting and killing Von. So really this was just self-defense. Quando's friend Lil Tim was only protecting his homie from Von, who was the aggressor. It seems strange that he would attack Quando for no reason, and at the time people were confused as nobody even knew they had beef. But the only logical explanation is that Quando was friends with NBA Youngboy. It's said that Quando was napping in a car outside the club while he waited for his friend who was inside. Lil Tim was supposedly watching over Quando while he slept. Then Quando woke up and left the vehicle. That's when Von and his crew appeared and started attacking them. After the shootout started, police also got involved and started shooting. When the dust settled though, Lil Tim was charged with murder. He was arrested shortly after the shooting, but in the end, he was cleared of all charges. So that kind of explains why Durk was still after Quando and Lil Tim. But what's even crazier is that Rondo, Durk, and Von used to be friends. Quando, Rondo, and Durk used to be friends. Back in 2021, Quando did an interview with Angela Yee where he spoke about his relationship with Durk and Von.
So let's back up, because I know you and Durk was cool. Obviously, he was on your album, and y'all was cool, and you was cool with Von. So that night when you was in the parking lot, what led up to you even being in the parking lots?
They did in fact have a song together. Quando then gives his side of the story. After that disclaimer, he speaks about how much he used to like Durk and even refers to him as Big Bro. That was a year before Pab was shot, so it looks like Durk didn't care. And it's pretty heartbreaking seeing Quando's reaction when he sees his cousin's dead body. Quando's reaction to his cousin's murder. This is allegedly a CCTV picture of the shooting taking place. Although Quando survived, he was seriously traumatized by it. In the video, you see his arms flailing around the place and he looks visibly disturbed. At one point, Quando sees the police dragging out his cousin's body, and his reaction is heartbreaking.
No!
Quando's cousin had nothing to do with Von's death and he was only targeted because of Quando. Although the shooting happened back in 2022, Quando only recently did an interview where he spoke about it.
With that happening to my right hand, man, that's the reason I think like, bro, I be thinking like, bro, you coulda did this, he coulda did this, your little partner coulda did this who from here that be with your little cousin.
He goes on to explain how the incident has left him paranoid and looking over his shoulder.
I just think so many ways about it to the point where, bro, I done took the thought of art of war to a whole nother level.
You might be wondering if Quando's also trying to get revenge, but it looks like he just wants the whole thing to end. Quando just wants the beef to end. In an Instagram post, Quando reflected on the situation and said, "We didn't get into this industry just to stay trapped in this street life." After that, he writes, "We have families and communities counting on us. It's time to leave all that behind. We've lost too much already." He then says, "Forgiveness is heavy on my heart now for anyone I had issues with. It's all love from me, praying for everyone. Life goes on." But while he's hoping this nightmare ends, it's highly unlikely O'Block feels the same way. But O'Block won't let it go. At the time of Von's death, his uncle, who's also from O'Block, sent a chilling message to Quando. He said they were never letting the beef go. For years now, Quando's had to watch his back, and he's lost family members because of the feud. The reason why O'Block is taking this so seriously is because of the man Von was. He wasn't just anybody. He was what they call a real one. Here's what his uncle said about it. He's got points to prove that was a real one. They killed a real one, and we ain't never gonna get nobody else like that. Von's uncle's comments came right after Quando Rondo's shows had to be canceled as they feared they were threats to public safety, as Von's people had allegedly bought tickets to his shows. It seems they weren't just rumors though, as in 2021, Quando was shot outside one of his shows. It looks like O'Block doesn't make idle threats. But now Durk's been arrested. Will they let this go? Probably not, as Quando and Lil Tum are still breathing. For now, we're waiting to see what happens to Durk, and we'll be sure to keep you updated on the case as it progresses. If you liked this video and want to see more, click one of the cards on the screen now.